Hi, my name's Paul Grogan and welcome to episode 2 in my playthrough series of Book of Hours. I'm taking a bit of a break from creating board game content at the moment and I hope you enjoy these videos. This follows directly on. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off, which was at the end of, I think it was the first day, where you can see at the top, the time is it running or is it paused? I was supposed to pause it. There you go. So we're almost at the end of the first day. We still have our health. Our Fett is fatigued. Our Fost is fatigued. We have two memories, Fear and Foresight. They're going to disappear at the start of the new day. We still have our book, which is soaked. I couldn't work out how to dry the book out at the end of the previous day, so we're going to try and do that tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna kick in and jump in and see where we get. If this is the first video you've watched in this series, I strongly recommend you go back to part 1 because I had explained the basics of the game in that, and I'm not going to be covering the same things in as much detail this time. Okay, so we're going to let the time run. And I'm actually going to speed up time a little bit because there's nothing else we want to do today. As you can see, night has fallen, dawn will come soon. So, yeah, night is the period between there and here, but we are about to have dawn. So at the start of every new day, a few things happen. Straight away, you can see, there you go, the memories have gone. So the memories, and it says memories fade, assistance departs, but the soul is refreshed. So if we had any assistance, which would have been down here in the sundries, they would have gone as well. And we've also got our first weather card. So every single day, just near the start of the day, a weather card will be determined. I don't quite know if it's random or selected from a series of cards, but I assume it's based on the season. We're currently in spring. And if you click on that, we can see that it is now cloudy. In this country, the sky is rarely clear. The sun goes courteously cloaked. And this card has 4 aspects. It has moon, moth, it is a weather card, and it's also a memory. So we can use the weather card each day for various things that we will see later on. But also our elements have refreshed. So at the moment, at the start of this, we only have 3 elements. We have health, Fett and Fost. These are 3 of the 9 elements. Health has got these aspects, Fett has got these aspects, Fost has got these aspects. And that's it. It's the start of the day. And the thing that I wanted to do today, if I remember rightly, what we did is we unlocked... did we unlock the bridge? I think we unlocked the bridge. I think we did something here and we unlocked the bridge. But we have this. We have the lodge at the gate, a cottage where Hush House's groundkeeper lived until the fire. If I can get into the place and make it habitable, I can use it as a base for reclaiming more of the house. And to go on here, we need an assistant which has 2 forge and 1 heart. Now, yesterday we got Reverend Timothy. Reverend Timothy is our acquaintance, and we can definitely get him. We have to commit 1 card to here, which has to be Fost, because it has to be either Knock or Lantern. So we're going to put Fost in there, because I think we're going to need Reverend Timothy today. And this topic. So what you can do is we can talk to him about... Oh, we can talk to him about the book. Maybe that's how we dry the book out. Okay, so we're going to do that. Reverend Timothy is not a man to miss an opportunity for conversation, so the whole business takes longer than it might, but he's anxious to help. So when the window opened, we've dropped the book in. Okay, let's see what happens. Is that going to dry the book out? We are talking to him, and we're talking to him about the book. Let's see what happens. Yes, we have the book. So it is a scaled book. Now, this is interesting because this isn't my first playthrough of the game. I have dabbled a little bit with this game before recording this series. Last time I played, it was a different book. Don't think that's going to change anything, but you never know, you never know. So our Fost is now fatigued. That will come back at the start of the next day. But we now have a dried book. And if we remember back to yesterday, we can now consider it. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Bacon. So studying requires effort. You will always need a suitable soul. So we can drop in either... Well, we can't drop in health, because it has to be either nectar... Sorry, it cannot be nectar, scale, fatigued, or malady. So it can't be health, because health has got the nectar aspect. So it's going to have to be Fett. My journal. That softly scaled cover is familiar. But the storm scattered, so scattered my thoughts. Does it have to be that? Can we drop clouds in? No, we can't drop clouds in. So it's going to have to be Fett. Let's let that run. But in the meantime, while that's running, can we actually get Timothy to help us today? I don't think we can. So no, we can't get Timothy to help us today because we've already spoken to him about the book. Maybe if we had another Fost or something that was Nock or Lantern, we could speak to him about that and get his help. But we are very limited with what we can do at the start of the game. And you'll see as the game progresses that we're going to get more and more cards, more and more characters, more and more locations are going to unlock, and we'll be doing multiple things at once. But it's a nice bit of an introduction. Right, let's just skip ahead again. There we go. Right, so, our book. My journal, I'm sure of it. The storm scattered my thoughts, but each page I turn is familiar. I begin to recall now why I came here. To finish my masterwork, my last map. More about your origin and your aspirations in your journal. And we've gained... Oh, we've gained another Fett. Right. Okay, so we've got one Fett, which is Fatigue, which is the one that we've just used to consider the book. And we've also got another Fett, which is Moth and Two Rose. I am the librarian of Hush House, and this journal will be my perpetual map. The cartographer's dearest wish when they came to the house was to chart a new history in which their impossible map would be possible. But you can complete the game by recording any history. Right. So this is how you complete the game, is by recording some kind of history into your journal. And it is suggesting that the cartographer's wish was to chart a new history in which their impossible map would be possible. I love maps, so that's good. You might wish to begin your studies with the Nyctodromy Wisdom. Sure. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. So this has got Rose, Mystery Lantern. Greater challenges require stronger skills. Memories, the cartographer. There is no map of the House of the Sun where invisible gods walk. How could there be when every year it changes, and yet every year it remains the same? Tricky, certainly. Impossible, let's see. It's readable. It's a thing, and it's a journal. So it's a thing, which is a readable journal. It's got the Rose aspect. It's got a Mystery of Lantern. Now we can consider it again, but this time it's come up with the Soul's Labours, and we have multiple slots. Studying requires effort. You'll always need a suitable soul card first. So we can drop in health. This time it is accepting any element of the soul that isn't fatigued. So we could drop in Fett. Books are the memory that does not die. Add aspects to match the book's mystery. Well, the mystery is Lantern. We know that. And we need to add aspects to match the book's mystery. You don't always need to fill every slot. Oh, here it is, the challenge. So the challenge is mystery. And we need to add cards in with... Sorry, the challenge is Mystery Lantern. Which is what the colour yellow is, because yellow is Lantern. And we need to add in aspects which are Lantern. So that's why this isn't doing anything, because Fett is Moth and Rose. So that can go. It's already got a Rose on there, but that doesn't help us. So I don't think we can do anything with this. I mean, we could put the Cloud's memory in, but again, that's not adding any Lanterns. So Start Bunny's great. We need some Lanterns. That's what we need. We need cards with Lanterns on. But it looks like we could have dropped multiple cards in there. So, I'm not sure what else we can do today. Let's just let time run for a bit while I'm thinking. We couldn't go for a walk on the moor because we don't have... Well, I mean, we could, but we've no knowledge, so we don't know what we're looking for. We've got 2 places to unlock. We've got this here, which is the Tidal Flats, but it needs an assistant. And we've also got this, which needs an assistant. And we've got all these other 4 buildings. Oh, hang on a minute, the post office. Yes. The postmistress may have something for me. Right, that's it. We need to take a readable, something that's either readable or a journal, but it cannot be soaked and it cannot be reluctant, which is the book. The postmistress regards me with the chilly gaze of a goddess image in an ancient hill shrine. The librarian, says she. Yes, I have something for you. Wait here, please. Right. Okay, so we've gone to the post office. We've given her the book, and she recognises, she now knows we're the library. Postmistress returns with an envelope addressed to the librarian, Hush House, Brankrug Isle, postmarked in Wales a week ago. Right, what have we got? We have a letter to the librarian and a 10-shilling note. So money is a part of this game. Let's just close that down for a minute. And we start with a stipend that's been given to us. And it's a 10-shilling note. And basically, if you look at it, it's 120 pence. So this is old money, which was around in England at the time, where you've got pence, pounds, shillings, pence, and all sorts of things. It's a bit confusing. But yeah, a 10-shilling note is half a pound, because a pound was 240 pence. And yeah, and we also have a letter to the librarian. A letter to me from St. Ronwen's Trust. The Trust's connection with Hush House is probably benevolent, but persistently obscure. So let's see if we can read the letter by considering it. We can. Read the letter. To reply, add ink at a desk. Well, we don't have any ink, and we don't have a desk yet. So let's start considering the letter. There you go, that's that done. So, St. Ronwen's Trust wishes to congratulate me on my appointment as librarian of Hush House. The Trust assures me that it will provide the promised stipend each spring, but reminds me that its resources are limited and suggests I seek local assistance in restoring the premises. Let us know when you're all set up and ready to receive visitors, the letter concludes. It is simply signed, the Trustees. Right, okay. So, we've still got the letter. I don't think we can do anything more with the letter, but let's just have a look at the post office again, because it said, let's just pause the day. The postmistress keeps the gate to the wider world. In her left hand is the lightning, which is to say the telegraph, and in her right the thunder, which is to say the only telephone in Brankrug. Before her lies the cash register, which accepteth the greater currency and returneth its lesser children. What that basically means is, you can give her an offering. So you can give her the 10-shilling note, let the timer run out, and she's basically going to split it into smaller chunks of currency. There you go. So if we collect all of that, you will see that we now have a sixpence, which is 6 pence, a florin, which is 24 pence, a half crown, which is 30 pence. Are you with all of this? And a crown, which is 60 pence. Now, just a quick note on these buttons here. This button here will organise your cards, and if there are ones of a similar type, it will stack them. Be very careful. If you use that button here, what it's going to do, it's going to combine all of the money into the largest quantity it can. So we've not lost any money by getting the postmistress to divide it into smaller chunks. But yeah, if you click that button, it will basically combine it all together again, which we don't want to do because we want some smaller currency. Right. I still don't think there's anything else we can do today. We've got these clouds. Can we consider the clouds? No. We can only consider a skill, something that's readable. It's either a lesson or it's a cache. It has to be one of those 4 things. Yeah, so readable is the letter to the librarian. That's it. We don't have any skills, we don't have any lessons, we don't have any caches. So I don't think there's anything more we can do here today. We still can't get to the pub because they're all hostile. They don't like us in the pub. Let's just let this day run. Speed up time a little bit. So, night time. Presumably we're still staying with Reverend Timothy in the old rectory. And off we go with what's going to be day 3, I think. I don't know whether there is a track of the actual day numbers, but we will see. So we got daybreak. Now, I don't quite understand this, but this has appeared. Fleeting reminiscence. A moment in time. In another moment, it'll be gone. If unused, memories disappear with the dawn. So we've got this card. It's going to go in 0.4 seconds, but it's not got any aspects. I don't know. I don't understand this part of the game. If you know this, and you've played this game, and you're watching this video, and you're laughing at me struggling with what's going on, let me know what these are, because occasionally they appear, and then they just disappear again, straight away. We don't know what the weather's going to be like today, but we have our 2 fetes and 4s. And if I click this button here, there you go. It's it stacked the Fett up into 2. Right. So we need to go and speak to Timothy. And the only thing we can speak to him with is Fost. So we'll do that. At some point, it's going to decide what the weather's like today. The weather today is cloudy again. It's like living in Britain. Right. So this time we didn't give him a topic. So we now have his assistants. So he's got 1 knock and 2 lantern. And let's just remind ourselves what we were going to do with this. To get into here, it requires an assistance, but it requires either 2 forge or 1 heart or 1 knock. He has 1 knock. So we could use him to open this up. Or let's just remind ourselves what we need to go here. He will introduce us here. Yes, it needs to be an introduction. Is he an introduction? He is an introduction. An introduction that's either Grail, Heart, Lantern, Moon, Sky, Winter. What about the pub? Yes. Oh, I just noticed we've got money. Ah, yes, if you remember, diplomacy or bribery. So we could have actually gone in with money. We could have bribed them. We could have gone in and bought a round or something like that. But as it is, yeah, I mean, let's do that. Because then we do more things at once. So I don't know. It says it wants pence. I don't want to spend too much money. Let's drag a 6pence over. The Sweet Bones is barred and shuttered against the storm. And against unwelcome visitors. There must be somewhere in the village that will give me shelter. Oh, right. Okay, so we can't pay them. But we can use... Oh, we can use Reverend Timothy. So Reverend Timothy's presence demands respect. Yeah, I don't know. It's either that or... Let's go here. Let's go to Mr. and Mrs. Killy. A mutual acquaintance has induced the Killys to invite me for a fish supper. If I'm lucky, fish supper may mean Mrs. Killy's celebrated galettes. I don't know what a galette is. So we're going to let that run. Again, I don't think there's anything else we can do at this point. We've got our book, which is dry, but we need more lanterns. Oh, there you go. See, another card just appeared that said departure. Mr. Killy pumps my hand. Just me and thee and the missus tonight, eh? Well, there's a client in the back, but if thee don't bother he won't bother thee. The Killy's household is now available, and we have a memory of satisfaction. Okay, so let's just have a look at what we can do with that. It's got 2 grail and a heart. What did we need for this? We needed lanterns. So we could drop the memory in there, but it's just giving us 2 grail and a heart. And that's not going to help us at all. But we now have this. We have the front room. So we can speak to them. It needs to be an element of the soul that's either Grail or Winter. So what do we have that's Grail or Winter? Nothing. Because Fett is Moth and Rose, and Health is Heart and Nectar and Scale. So the building is open. We've been introduced to them, but we don't have anything that they're interested in talking about. So, yeah. And we can't do anything with this, I don't think. I don't think there's going to be much else we can do today again. The days are flying by, and we don't seem to be making that much progress. But, yeah, we'll just say. As I say, this game is one of those ones which is... It's a little bit relaxing in a way. You're not in any pressure. You're not on any time limit or anything like that. You just play the game at your own pace. And if you don't get something done one day, or if you forget to do something, that's fine. You just come back to it the next day. And I think that's what we're going to be doing today. Because, yeah, we don't have any skills, so we can't go there. We don't have any other assistance. The pub is boarded up from the storm, so we can't even bribe our way in. That's not working. Timothy could introduce us to it. We've been given access to Mr. and Mrs. Killy, but we don't have the right things to speak to them about. So that was pointless unlocking that building. But, again, it's unlocked now. We might be able to get to it later on when we've got something that they want to talk about, which is either Grail or Winter. Right, end of the day is coming. Let's see what the new day holds. Let's see if it's going to be cloudy again. It might be, it might not. Can you go any faster than time 6? No. Okay, dusk has fallen, dawn will come soon. And here we go. Dawn. Right. So, we're going to go and speak to Reverend Timothy again. That's that's definitely some. Now, are we going to speak to him about a particular topic? No. Oh, there's a gale. A gale's blowing. Right, okay, so, and it's nice because the sound effects in the background and some of the images on the screen match the current weather. So it's 3 heart and 3 sky. If only we had something we could use them for. We need lots of lanterns to understand this book. Don't quite know how, but what are we going to do? Are we going to use... Speaking to people didn't work for us, so let's use Timothy Rector. Timothy Rector? That's his new name. Reverend Timothy. He's going to help us get into the lodge at the gate. Now that time is going to run for a while. So again, we're going to speed time up a bit. It is a 1-minute timer. And as I mentioned in the previous video, all of these padlocks require an assistant to unlock them. But here we go. We have now opened up what will become the main part of the game, and this is Hush House. We are going to be exploring this house room by room, and you will need an assistant every time you explore a new room. So you can already see the scope of this game. It was advertised as 20 to 40 hours. I think that's vastly underestimating how long it would take to play this game, but I don't know. We will find out. So we've got one building, and one of the tips is that you can zoom in quite far, and the more you zoom in, the more I mean, look at this. You can really zoom in quite some detail, and we've got all sorts of things that are highlighting. Are we definitely paused? We are definitely paused. So let's have a look around this room. We've got dandelion wine, homemade flower wine. Oh, it's got a lantern on it. That might be useful. We have a basket of clean laundry. Again, all of these things have aspects on. We have a Hush House key that has 3 knock. We have a potted dragon tree, a determined spiky little survivor. We've got this a guest bed, which has actually opened up something. So stout, rustic and snug. Use a matching soul card to move your belongings in and make this your bed. Or place a matching visitor card to encourage them to stay a little longer. So we can move in with our health card. So it needs to be occupant, heart, heart or interested in heart. Okay. Which is a difference, but yeah, let's do that. Let's set that running. I'll make this my lodgings for the time being. Move your belongings into this room. You can then use this bed to rest soul cards and recover maladies. Oh, so we can rest and get them back and use them again. Anyway, that's a 1:30 timer. So, I'm just going to have a look around the rest of the room. We have a lodge fireplace, which always accepts gifts and boils the kettle for tea. We need to put effort in and a thing. Basically, anything. Put anything in the fire. We've got a loaf of bread. Gritty bread made with the hardy ancient oats that grow at Land's End. We've got a chair. Nice. Lantern. We've got some tea. We've got a mirror. We've got some Dawn Lion coffee. Coffee from beyond the great deserts. We've got another plant, a shadowless silk. Don't know who's been watering these plants. We have a honey scar scented candle. And we have books. So this game is about cataloguing books. If that doesn't excite you, then this is probably not the game for you. But you will see we have 5 books on our bookshelf. They are all currently uncatalogued. The colour is important because it ties in with what you need to unlock them. And the first thing you do when you get books is you consider them. So what we're going to do is we are going to consider this book. And now every time you consider a book, it requires soul. Any kind of, well, not any kind of soul. It's got to be an element of the soul that isn't nectar or scale. So basically, you know, not health. So we're going to put our FET in there, and we're going to start that countdown running. So that's a 30-second countdown. We've also got a 1 minute 30-second countdown running, and there you go. So we have catalogued the book, and it is Collected Hush House Lectures. In the 1800s, Dr. Aaron Peel was invited to give a series of lectures to the Curia. They combine his pithy view of the histories with his particular brand of unhelpfully ironical insight. Okay, now, once you've catalogued the book, and the book will automatically go up there, but if you want to, you can pop it on there. But let's keep it up there for now. You can click on it, and you can see that this, the Mystery of the Moon. So it's got a tally price of 2, which is a price as the invisible world would reckon it, paid in uncommon currency, like the tokens called Spintry. Don't quite know what that is yet, but Mystery Moon. So we need 4 moon aspects to be able to understand this book, and we do that by considering it. So we consider the book, and this is basically the challenge. We need 4 moon. So what have we got? Is there any moon on the Gale? No, because that's a shame, because weather cards count as memories. We've got FET. FET is 1 moth and 2 rows. So right now we can't do anything to understand this book, but we have another book here. So let's look at another book with our remaining FET. We'll start that running. And as you can see, the game is starting to open up now. We've got more things to do. So this is The Locksmith's Dream, Portions and Proportions. The second volume of Teresa Galmier's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. This frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. Ooh. Right, but what do we need for that? We need 4 sky. Now, isn't there a gale blowing outside? So, let's just have a look at this. If we consider this, we can drop this gale into the memory, and that gives us 3 sky. If only we had 1 more sky, we would have been able to do it, but we have no skills, we have no souls, we've nothing else to drop in there. That's a shame. Because otherwise we could have read that. We can't read any more books at the moment because we don't have any more elements. All of our elements are fatigued, so we'll let that move tick down. And now we've got this new option of camp. This is a safe place for me now to the extent that dreams are safe, but even this has got challenges. This is a whole extra stuff that I haven't understood yet. Right, so this is our bed, and we can do stuff. We can put souls into our bed, we can put skills, we can put memories, we can restore, so we can restore our health. I could settle in for a nap with a cup of something warming, or a glass of something soothing. Add a beverage to restore your soul card without waiting overnight. So if we really wanted to, we could put our FET in there, put something in there, like, for example, a bottle of wine, and that would actually restore it. Now, I don't want to do that, because, again, we're not pushed for time, and I might need that bottle later on. And all of these are going to come back tomorrow anyway. So there must be a certain part in the game where you really need to do certain things within a particular time limit, at which point restoring things might be useful. But for today, let's get that out of the way. Why is it not going? It's not going. There you go. We've also got this key. We also have a Hush House key. Now, can we do anything with the key? Because we've got a room here. So this is the great gate of the house. The walls of the house tower above me. I had been told that it was abandoned after a fire, but there is no sign of any such thing. The building will no doubt need restoration, but it's in better shape than I'd feared. Books are the memory that does not die, reads the inscription above the gate. Okay. And it's looking like it needs a key. Okay, so it's a slot for a key, and that key needs to have 3 knock and also 2 knock. That doesn't make any sense, but basically we've got a key. So we'll slot that in there. We'll unlock it. We'll let the timer run. We'll have a look at this new room. And then that will probably be the end of our day because we don't have any elements left. But here we go. We've got a new room that's been unlocked. So I'm just going to pause time and we'll have a look around and see what we've got. We've got a lingering repose. We've got another chair, an expansive chair, another expansive chair. We've got a vase of gorse, as Cornish a plant as any. We've got a treasury of shelters, basically an umbrella stand. We've got Serena Blackwood, a bust carved from alabaster. We've got 3 animals, Yeth hound horns, red deer antlers, and some more Yeth hound horns. Watchman's Tower Gatehouse. Where's that? Is that where we are now? Yeah. Back in the 11th century, Brian of Brittany built the tower and its gate to protect St. Brandon's Abbey, as Hush House was then known. Later, the Barons de Wolf strengthened the gate against their many enemies, but it's a long time now since Hush House was any kind of fortress, and by the time the scholars of the Curia took possession, this place had long been a comfortable waiting room for visitors to the house, too minor to merit immediate attention. And it's got a new aspect we've not seen, the baronial period. Okay. There's a lot of lore in this game, so as well as it being a narrative-driven game, there is a huge amount of lore and background story to the game that you probably don't need, but it helps, immerse yourself in the game. We've got the Tattered Outlaw, which is a picture of Theresa Blake, 7th librarian of Hush House, liked painting donkeys. No one else liked her donkey paintings, but Theresa never much cared for what other people liked. We also have Ravenline Summer, a dry spell in a still place. So these are all objects. We can pick up these objects, we can move them around, and there are things that you can do with these objects. But what it's opened up is it's opened up these 2 rooms. So every time you unlock a room, everything adjacent to it also has these icons on, which are like a hammer and a wrench. And if you click on them, it says, I can make out a green and shaded space, but it's choked with weeds and thorns. I'll need help to clear the space. So apart from the key that opened the front door, every other room that we need to explore, we need help. And for this one, we need assistance and 2 lantern or 2 nectar. Now, we know that Reverend Timothy has got 2 lantern. I think he's got 2 lantern. I'm totally making a spreadsheet. To unlock this place, which is the gatehouse stairs, the stairs to the room above are blocked with debris, and the plaster is peeling from the walls. I'll need help from the village to clear and restore the place. That needs either 2 forge or 2 lantern. So again, if Reverend Timothy has lantern, we can use him over the next 2 days to unlock these rooms. But I suspect forge is probably Denzel the Smith. But Denzel the Smith won't speak to us because Reverend Timothy and him have nothing in common. We also have 3 more books on the bookshelf that we don't know what they are. So we can't start to analyse these yet. He says, wait a minute, these are already analysed. These are already catalogued. We didn't read them, but they're already there. So this is the annotated dream journals of Christopher Illipoli, sometimes called the only readable occultist, literate, entertaining, bewildering, travelling at night, volume 1. So this needs knock. 4 knock. And we can start to understand that. And then we've got Travelling at Night, volume 2, which requires sky. So again, we've got this Gale, which is a really good memory. It's got 3 sky, but we have no muscle, we have no skill. We can't do anything with these. So that's where we're going to end things for today. We've got 1 more book to catalogue. Unfortunately, we might be able to start reading these once our stuff comes back. And the slight downside is, while these elements are fatigued, you can't actually see what aspects they give. I think Fost gave Lantern, I think Health gave Heart and the green one, whatever that was. But tomorrow, we're going to basically get these back, and then we might be able to start using these souls and the weather. It all depends what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, to start analysing one of these books, and that is then going to open up lessons, skills, and all sorts of other stuff for the next part of the game. That's the end of part 2. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you are enjoying the series, give the video a like, leave me a comment, let me know if you've enjoyed it. And if you are more experienced with the game, let me know what you think about it. And as I mentioned last time, these videos are not sponsored. So they are only made with the help of the Patreon campaign. So if you like the content that I create and you want to support the channel directly, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingrules. I'm going to disappear now, and I'll see you in part 3.